Now, it's not too often that I would go onto the internet, check up what's going on YouTube, and find out that a YouTuber is going to prison. And that YouTuber, his name is Trevor Jacobs. Now, if you guys aren't aware, a YouTuber a couple months ago, or should I say even last year, decided that they're going to go upon a plane, their own personal plane, and decide to jump out of said plane and do it for the views. Now, of course, the federal government of the United States took notice of that. And because of that nonsense that he personally pulled, he will now be going to federal prison for about 6 months. So, why did I title the video the way I titled it just now? Well, the fact of the matter is that as much as people want to be disruptive and try to be different, you need to also understand that you act within a legal system. Now, in the case of the person jumping out of a plane and crashing it, that is a serious violation because of, the federal government's air traffic control. That's a seriously regulated part of, the government as well as the industry for that matter. And you cannot just go around and flying, aircraft like that. In fact, if you were to even, use a drone near, airports, etc., you could even get arrested, right? I'm talking about, those drones you buy from, online or in stores, those remote control drones. Yeah, you get arrested for using those. Now, for that matter, right, you don't want to continuously just be a person that wants to, well, as I said before, just be disruptive for no reason. Because you got idiots like this that would continue doing whatever they want just for the views. In fact, there was a TikToker who was in the city of Houston that was randomly just punching people, right? And when he was randomly punching people, he put it on the internet. News crew came up to him, to his parents' house, and tried to interview him. And you heard the usual excuses, etc. And then, of course, he's been charged. Here's what I'm trying to say. Okay, very straightforward. Do not do anything illegal or destructive just so that you can make some money. Okay, because at the end of the day, that's what this whole thing is about. Is about making some money. You hear people from the Silicon Valley crowd saying, we're going to be disruptive, etc., etc. Ask any teacher who does, teaching for a living. They will tell you that one of the things they will like less of is disruptions. But because, of marketing, marketers would like to, use words, wrap it up, and make it sound good. Okay. And once you make it sound good, you then get a bunch of people coming into your environment and you could just sell to them whatever you want to do. Now, these two idiots, Trevor Jacobs and the dude from Houston, I'm not going to say his name, they're both being disruptive to the social order so that they can make some money. And they're not the only ones. You got people like Kai Sinat. You got people like Jack Doherty. And you even got people like Neon. Really Jack Doherty and Neon, because if you ever seen these two people's content, their content is really instigatory as well as destructive to, people's peace. So for Jack Doherty, he would just randomly, okay, he's just, walking around and just randomly get into someone else's space, okay? And if a man tries to do something, as his security guard would try to check that man. Okay. This is what we're dealing with in the world, right? You got a bunch of people who claim to fame is just being disruptive. And it's going to continue to happen because guess what? The marketplace decides who gets rewarded. And a lot of the disruptive elements now are getting rewarded. You got the Kia boys. What did they do? They engage in theft of what? Kias and Hyundais. Okay. And those people, unfortunately, are going to get arrested. Right? So you don't want to go through that disruptive route. What's the solution? Okay. The solution is that, well, first off, you operate in the confines of the law, and at most operate in the gray if the law doesn't specify. Number two, you want to have a lot of money because, truth be told, you can't break laws, but money does help, try and interpret those laws to your favor. And three, and this is most importantly, just be principled. Okay. Those people who did what they did, a lot of them, even though they will say that their principles are based in disruption and destruction. You need to make sure that your principles are really just about helping as many people as you possibly can. So let me give you a good example. Okay. There's a YouTuber, I'm sure you've heard him, Graham Stevens. It took him years to build his YouTube channel so that he could, do his own personal finance. There's another YouTuber, his name is Infinity Waters. Okay. I don't agree with Infinity Waters and his, videos, but the fact of the matter is that he emits positivity to the point that people are willing to pay him money so that they can become successful. Which goes back down to another person that I don't know personally, but I had a roommate and he was talking about how there was a particular chick that did a business, and she's still probably doing that business, doing palm readings, crystals, and astrology. Now, I'm probably going to have some people in my audience that do things like that, but the fact of the matter is, and I want to make this clear, she has a business making that type of service and products so that she can become what? More successful. Okay. As long as there are people willing to consume your products or services, there is a market. Okay. Now, I don't want you doing the destructive stuff, as I, stated earlier before, but I want you to do the positive work, okay? The work that's going to allow you to actually make some money, make some cash, and not make you go to jail or prison because you decided that you want to do things for the views and just destroy what you can do in the future. Here's another thing. It's going to take time. I'm not, I'll be the first one to tell you this is going to take years. College, you don't judge college in, 6 months, right? It's going to take 2, 4, 5, 6, or even 10 years to do what you're doing. But what's going to be really important is that you have a standard and that you're actively participating in doing what is necessary so that you can make the money that can empower you. Okay. Back to what I was saying before. You had Trevor Jacobs fly a plane onto, federal airspace, crash it. You had that idiot from Houston punching people randomly. You have Jack Doherty. You have Neon doing, instigatory content, trying to get into people's physical space. Don't want you to do that. Just make the money legally, set up a business infrastructure for your benefit and the marketplace benefit. And from there, you just simply scale it. You do all those things, you're set. You're going to have a better path, And more importantly, you're going to be conditioned so that you can have more success in the future. That's all I got to say. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, comment, or even a dislike, and talk to you soon. Bye.